Hi, welcome everyone to another episode of Let's Talk Special Economic Zones. I'm your host, Ainsley Brown. In today's episode, we're going to talk about SEZ and supply chain traceability. Now, it's very important to note that zones globally, we know that there are thousands of them scattered all over the world, and zones participate in about 40% of global goods trade. And if you were to count total trade, it probably go up further because probably in excess of 50 to possibly up to 60% when you count services that are involved with zones. So zones are very important, and in terms of, and this we're going to speak more about goods than we are speaking about services. In terms of traceability within a supply chain, zones are going to become, or are I should say, critical nodes in terms of traceability. And this is becoming important or a issue, and in some instances a challenge for zones, because there are laws that are going in place that require that there be some level of visibility and traceability within supply chains. And zones are areas that goods don't just pass through to be postponed, but also pass through for value addition. So the legislations that are around the world would be concerned with that. There are legislation that speaks about not just about making sure that your supply chain is free from child labor and slave labor, etc., but increasingly now around the environmental side of things, especially with the rise of ESG, environmental, social, and governance. That entire movement or framework is forcing businesses increasingly to look not just at their operations, but at the operations of the people that they are connected to. Now, for a zone developer, a zone, the person that operates the zone, that's their occupants. They're going to want to know what's going on with their occupants and are there sufficient things in place. There's also um, zones are very attractive for lawful things. They're also attractive for unlawful things, and zones are also used, unfortunately, for money laundering and things like that, and drugs trafficking and guns trafficking and things like that. And traceability within the supply chain and within the zones in terms of nodes of transformation or nodes of trade, which the zones are, is becoming critical. And the investors, zone policymakers, everybody needs to get on board, ensure that the appropriate policies and governance structures are in place, not just from the governmental level, but right down into the operations, to ensure that these things, in fact, that's probably where it's going to hit the hardest. So even if one government doesn't have it in place, say the government where the zone is based, where they are sending their goods may require it. And as a consequence, you may find that because you didn't have those structures in place, you're suddenly cut off from being able to trade with that country. So it becomes very, very important. One area to, or one um, trading area, I suppose, to watch out for is the European Union. They're being very aggressive with this type of traceability, and others are coming on board as well. So if you like this episode, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. If you want to see me do a future episode on a particular topic, just leave me a comment and I'll get right back to you.